and we all experience our own battlefield. Nobody gets out of here unscathed. And if you've been unscathed, girl, you have not lived.
Exactly. Yes.
And if it's easy for a guy constantly, dude, you haven't grown up.
Exactly.
You're being insulated. I always say to the people, my clients, I go, make mistakes, people. Make a mess. Let's find the magic in that mess. Let's see the Mona Lisa in that, which was a mistake underneath that one. And they kept repainting it until they had a masterpiece.
Until
That's who we are.
What we have today. Welcome to the Leadership That Shines podcast, the weekly leadership training show that's built around 3 values that show up in everything we do: impact, influence, and growth. Whether you're leading a team, building a business, or learning to lead yourself first, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Natalie Davis. Let's get into it. Hello, my friends. Before we dive into today's conversation, I want to take a moment to let you know that this episode does touch on some sensitive topics. We're going to cover things like personal loss, health challenges, mental and emotional hardships, and just some of those harder seasons in lives. I just want to remind you all, these are real conversations that we're having with real leaders. So if any of these topics are a little bit too close to the surface for you, make sure that you're prioritizing yourself. Take care of yourself first before diving in. All right. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Leadership That Shines podcast. I am your host, Natalie Davis, and so excited to be back with you all today. We've had some phenomenal guests over the last couple of weeks, and I am still spinning over last week's episode. So if you've not had an opportunity to go and listen, I had one of my longtime coaching clients on as a guest. And it's, I'm still in that time where I'm reflecting on, the work that I've done, how I've been able to show up as a coach, and then to actually have Adam on to share his story, his experience, and his successes through his leadership journey, and the role that I've had to play in that is true. It's still humbling. I'm still in awe, still just on cloud 9. And it's one of those moments where you're proud and also terrified at the same time, not sure what to expect, what's going to come out. And I'm really, really pleased with the work that he's doing and the progress that he's made. But you all, listen, when you have that, you connect with someone and you think, yep, this is it. We're going here. We're going places. Today is that day. And I'm so excited. Hilary, welcome to the show. I'm so honored to have you on. One, just naturally gravitating towards your energy, your perspective, as we were preparing for the show, being able to connect with you and hear about your journey. Welcome to the Leadership That Shines show.
Thank you for inviting me. I feel like I've met an old friend. It's so nice when people just energetically connect. It's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, Hilary, here's what I would like us to do just to get started, because you have experienced leadership in a variety of ways. We spoke a little bit about overcoming adversities and the ability to have resiliency. One thing that really stood out to me is that you really look at leadership where it starts, which is leadership of self. And I talk about that quite a bit on the show, right? It's not necessarily the titles. It's leading ourselves when we're overcoming those adversities, making sure that we can come out on the other side and ensuring that we're still showing up as the best versions of ourselves. You've experienced life in a way that has helped you create and strengthen that muscle of resiliency. Why don't we start off by just having you tell a little bit about yourself to the listeners?
Okay, I'll give you the elevator version. So,
That's perfect.
I am in my 60s, and when I was a kid, I had no idea that I would end up where I'm at, because I grew up in a very big home. I lived in Los Angeles. My mother was a Jackie Gleason girl, and she was like this glam, rich, really elite. My dad was like the pulper who went to West Point, so they had this connection of like, oh my God, when it was kind of like, you're my daddy, you're gonna fix me, and my dad thought, she's gonna fix me, which is kind of how relationships are born. We think we meet them so they can get us somewhere, and that's where the beginning starts, and that's where the ending goes. Because we end up, it becomes our demise, thinking my outside world's going to fix my inside. So I grew up in this family where I look like Shirley Temple, lucky me, I guess, or not. And I get put in front of a camera, and at 5 years old, I become a cartoon character. I'm the voice of Sally. I do doll voices for Mattel. I do 150 commercials. I'm on your television. Remember, there was 6 channels. So I was always on the TV. And I didn't want to be on the TV. But when you grow up in a really frenetic, alcoholic, for the lack of the better word, I really am not hot on this word narcissist because it's like the buzzword now. She was just an arrogant, self-centered, self-righteous alcoholic bitch. Okay, there you go. That's who she was. But we have a nice term for it. Oh, you're a narcissist. No, it's all about you, you self-centered human being. So she saw me as a meal ticket because when you grow up in an environment where there's no God, and I'm a big talker about that, but your God becomes what you produce instead of what produced you. You end up living from the outside to the inside and not the inside to the outside. So I grew up around this woman who never felt enough because her ego was driving her. And when your ego's driving you, it's never satisfied, you guys.
Right.
So there's always going to be an imbalance. So I grew up in this ecosystem where I was traumatized. And trauma, I always say, is like knocking you off a ship. You're like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And then you're like, where am I? And then you live your life. Where am I? Where do I go? How do I get safe? How do I feel okay? What do I need to do? You may have, I was thrown in front of a camera as a child. I just wanted to be a kid. I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to see. I wanted to experience from the inside out, not have the outside experience me. So here I am thinking, oh my God, I got to be perfect. I got to make mom happy because her ego's never satisfied. So I got to make more money and more money. We got 7 kids. We got horses. We got dogs. We got insanity. There's drinking. There's fighting. There's alcoholism. There's violence. There's abuse, sexual abuse. There's all you name it. We got a a banquet combo platter going on in this family that looks like the Kennedys. So on the outside, you're like, oh my God, what a great life. And you're like, help, get me out of this Pandora's box, And so I learned at a very young age to put a face on, put a mask on. How are you? Great. Everything's good. Now, we all deal with trauma our own ways. There's usually 3 major ways of doing it. There's, I'm a people pleaser. Yes, what do you want me to do? Boys do it. Who's the strongest guy? I am. He's dying. He can't even he has to stand up and tiptoe. It's painful, but he needs to be picked because he needs to be loved. And so I do it my own way. I make commercials. I do more. Is that good, Mommy? Do you love me now? Do you love me now? And I start building up this little, I'm not enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And that's my underlying, I stuff it deep down because you go, how you doing? Great. Happy. Everything's good. Put the smile on. So I become the people pleaser. Some girls do it in school where they're the ace student. They get all the answers right. They're the cheerleader. Whatever your de jour is, there's a normal where you're building self-esteem and self-worth during those self years from 3 to 12. You're learning who you are.
Yes.
And when you're in a battleground, and we all experience our own battlefield, nobody gets out of here unscathed. And if you've been unscathed, girl, you have not lived.
Exactly. Yes.
And if it's easy for a guy constantly, dude, you haven't grown up.
Exactly.
You're being insulated. I always say to the people, my clients, I go, make mistakes, people. Make a mess. Let's find the magic in that mess. Let's see let's see the Mona Lisa in that, which was a mistake underneath that one. And they kept repainting it and repainting it and repainting it until they had a masterpiece.
Until
That's
we
who
have
we
what we
are.
have today. That's
Exactly.
right. Exactly.
So here I grew up in this family trying to be enough. And I'm trying to be there's a people pleaser, a loner, or a controller. Boys usually are the controller, the bully, the one that's going to run the show, Mr. Know-It-All, yeah, flex it, go to the gym. I got this. I'm such a stud. Inside, you're like, I'm not enough. Nobody's going to ever love me. So I stuff because I'm living from the outside in. There's the ego factor.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'm doing this. All I know is I think I need to survive to feel safe. I got to feel safe. I've had an earthquake. How do I feel safe? What do I do? So I'm a people pleaser. That doesn't work. I become a loner. I start running away from home, checking out, going in the books, the girls that sit in the books or the guys who sit on the game board or on their phone. They're checking out. And you got to go, what's going on in that home of theirs? Because they're acting on the outside because something's happening on the inside. Yeah. It's never the same. And so we judge people on our Instagram. Oh, man, their life's amazing. Girl, it is never. Don't judge a book by its cover. You have no idea the mayhem. Because I saw that in my household. Yes. We look good. Everyone thought, oh, what a great family. And I was like, please take me out of here. I'm praying to a God I don't understand. Kill my mother and father and put me in my best friend's house. And I'd wake up and there was crazy mom pulling me out of the bed, telling me I wasn't enough, telling me I wasn't. Why did I have you? I should have aborted you. So I'm getting all these messages and I'm stuffing. Because on the outside, I'm like, how are you? Great. I'm amazing. Yeah. I've got blisters on my hands. I'm biting my fingernails. I've got an ulcer at 11. How you doing? It's just a tummy ache. It's all this stuff. Like, we don't pay attention to what's going on with our kids, our family, ourselves, because we're in a hurry. Right. Where are we going? I don't know, but I got to get there.
But we have to go, and we have to go quickly. Yes.
And there doesn't exist.
Exactly.
There's no such thing. That's the happily ever after Disney lie. There never exists. So I'm using my loner. Loner stops working. I go into the control. I start, good girl turns bad. I'm actress all the way to 12. I start getting high. I find a new spirit of alcohol that makes me feel tall. I'm no longer flat chested. I'm no longer 4'7". I think I'm 6 foot. It brings on a new spirit because I can't stand the kid I am, because I don't feel enough.
Right.
I don't feel loved enough. I am so thirsty for something I can't taste it. Oh, it's so painful. But how you doing? Great. I'm good.
Amazing. Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
I got another.
Just everything's great.
Women do it. How you doing? Great. I got a new bag. I got a new car. I got my lips done. I got my ass done. I got new tits. Oh, awesome. You're good on the outside. She's dying on the inside. The guy's got the car, the house, the girl. He's got all this stuff, the watch. He's immaculately dressed. How you doing? Great. I'm amazing. You're dying on the inside. Yeah. And no one has the guts to tell the truth anymore because they're afraid of being pushed away. Because they're all in trauma. I got to be safe. I got to do what I got to do. So good girl turns bad. I start running away from home. I drop out of high school. I go to 7 high schools. It's kind of the Cliff Note version. I don't care. I just want to die because I don't feel lovable enough, pretty enough, smart enough, funny enough, anything enough. Because my hurt is leading every decision I'm making, every person I hang out with, every job I take, every clothes party I go to. I'm being raped. I don't talk about it. I stuff it. And finally, by the time I'm 21 years old, I just want to kill myself. I slit my wrist. I have a near-death experience where I ask God not to let me die, and he saves me. I'd love to say, and then I became like virtuous. Maybe kidding. I was like, I always joke. I'm not going to say it on our show because I can be really vulgar. I've done stand-up, so I don't care deprecating myself.
I love it.
I'm like, okay, I can suck chrome off a bumper. I got so good because I was trying to be enough. Enough. And finally, that was my aha moment. And I thought that my life was useless. Like, why was I doing? And I blamed God, and I became the ultimate victim. If you grew up with had an excuse for everything. I was the salesman of failure.
Oh.
Salesman of failure. You'd say, wow, why are you doing so wrong? Well, if you had a house that I had, if you had a mom, I had an excuse for everything. I was so devoted and dedicated in being a victim that it became my identity.
It was part of your persona. Yes.
Absolutely. Go to the government. They'll make you the biggest victim ever. It doesn't matter. I got backing. I got the Uncle Sam. I'm getting food stamps now.
Yeah.
See, I told you I'm a victim. See. I don't care. You find your way. And it's so funny. That's the resilience. But if you it's like if you turn your glasses around, you're going to see a little dim.
Exactly.
But you're going to see differently. So I'm going to take these off in voice, but they hurt. But so anyway, so here I am. I'm married to my sadness. I'm married to my hurt, my anger, my disappointment, my victimism, my poor Hilary, pour me a drink, pour me. I'm throwing up 10 times a day because I don't want to keep food. I got to be perfect. I got to look good. Everything is the outside. But if you ask me how I'm doing, great. How you doing? I'm wonderful. Thanks. Oh my God, I became a master of bullshit.
Yeah.
And the saddest thing is I was lying to myself over and over and over. And I was so afraid if I got really honest that I would self-destruct. I would fall apart. But I was already apart. That's the illusion of self. And so I build this character, and then my ego kicks in because I've got no God. That says, don't talk about it. Try harder. Oh, if it doesn't work, move. Get a new boyfriend. Get a new house. Get a new job. Get a new something else. Because I got to get over there. Over there. And I was exhausted.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I said, it sounds exhausting. Sounds exhausting.
Do we not all do that? I want 100%. You to check your schedule today.
Yes. Absolutely.
Have you taken time to talk to God?
Yeah.
Taken time to take a breath? Have you drank water? Like, have you stabilized yourself before we go back into this war zone called life? Because it's a battlefield out there. We're being hit with media, with people, places. It's exhausting. Like, how many times you get home, you're like, I need a drink. And that's where we go to. I need to become somebody else. I need a new spirit. Duh.
Yeah.
No, babe, you need to refresh your spirits. That's where resilience kicks in. Not from checking out and being angry and I'm going to show them. I always say when people are like, are you going to join this cause? And I go, and be mad? No. You go burn yourself out. I already hit my bottom.
Yeah.
When you've hit your bottom, call me. And then I'll help you climb out of your crap that you dug yourself deeper and deeper. They always say that it's my shit. At least it's warm and it's mine. That's why I stay in it. I don't even know the difference.
I've not heard that saying, but I think that it's spot on.
I might as well talk people language instead of the corporate language. It's not even, I'm not a fictional character anymore.
No. Yes.
I'm not a cartoon character anymore. I'm not a doll voice. I'm not a commercial. I'm not an ad.
Yes.
I'm not a character in a movie. I'm just Hilary now.
Yes.
Do you know how refreshing that is to be able to say, if you don't like me, that's okay. There's a door and there's a line of people who want to like me and know me. And there's a door and a line for people I want to know and like. That's the reciprocation. That's the reciprocity. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
The reciprocity. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, how you said it. Of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I love living my life from the inside out.
Yes.
So the outside in. So I end up overdosing, dying basically, and having this aha moment. And that's where my real living started. Because I was just surviving for a long time. I was reacting. I was in a reactive state because I was in trauma. Trauma is like, I told you, the earthquake moving, and I need to feel safe. Seeing, tasting, touching, hearing, smelling. Those are I get that. God gave me those gifts. Said, go at it, girl. Figure it out. If you need me, check in. But my ego goes, I got this. I don't need
No need
you.
to check in. We're good.
No, I'm good.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll let you know when I need you. Who's playing God now?
Right. Yes,
I'll let you know. Thank you, God, but you're so sweet. Can I get back to you? I'm like, you're so full of shit, Hilary. So I end up having that moment where my hard shell, which is really just a protective state I'm in, got cracked. And the light came in. I was enlightened. I felt a little lighter. It was like, I don't have to kill myself anymore. Maybe, just maybe. And that's why I love coaching people, because you give them a lot of maybes and they have those aha moments where you're just like, dude, you are awake. Oh my God, the lights came on. That's awesome. But I ended up getting surrounded because now I've changed my energy frequency. I'm no longer low vibrating, low victim. I love these, people that are like, life, I get the worst luck. No, babe, you keep perpetuating your crap.
Exactly.
You can change your luck by changing your thought, changing your mind, and healing your heart. But we don't want to go to the heart. We want to put more armor on and armor on. That's not the armor of God. That's the armor of protection.
Yeah.
Because I don't know any other way. And my shit's warm. And it's
and it's mine.
And it's mine. I can feel it. I know what to smell, check. Yeah. I know how to sense stuff. So I ended up having this aha moment where I got sober at a very young age, 21. Was my, that's when my journey of finding out who Hilary wasn't came. And I started uncovering, discarding, and really kind of figuring out that all those principles, which are the truths I was living by, like I'm not enough and you should have been aborted and why did I have you and if it wasn't for you, all these belief systems and then I got some good stuff too. I'm not saying it was all bad, but unfortunately, heavy outweighs light. Yeah. God's will is effortless and easy. That's a light energy. But I think everything's got to be heavy. I got to get this. Like, I love how a lot of, men think they got to work really hard. That's an illusion.
Right.
You just have to let go and allow yourself to be guided to where you could be more of service, not where you can get more.
Right.
So you can feel a value. There's nothing more fulfilling than being of service to another human being and wanting nothing in return. Wow, talking about rich.
Yes.
Wow, having a light spirit. Because we said earlier, no one gets out of here alive. You can't, when you die, that shit's not going with you, girl.
That's right.
Nobody gets to take anything. I get to take my memories, and then I get to forget them. Maybe I can remember them in my next life if that's really what happens. Maybe. I don't know. Possible. I have an open mind, so I'm not married to anything except my belief in God. That's it.
Yeah. I love it.
Everything else, I'm like, I don't know. Earth flat.
It's possible. And none of us do. That's right.
I don't know. We'll find out. Could be. Whatever. I might change my mind again. My mind is like, But the funny thing is,
Hilary, the piece that you talk about, like as you're finding, like you're doing this discovery of self, right? Realizing who you truly are and that it doesn't have to be the heavy, the grind, the grit, the go and the push and, everything has to push through.
Yeah.
There's some reprogramming, right? Because at such a young age, though you were doing it for your mother, everything was next gig, next job, next, how can I secure the next more, right? And that
then I'll
was
be
how
happy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But happiness is like, I'm going to go get a burger and I want it like, well done. That makes me happy. For how long? Until I digest it and then I'm over it.
Right.
So happiness is fleeting. joy is permanent.
Yeah.
If I can build on that joy sense, and joy is like a hard drive that's already inside me.
Mm-hmm.
And I call that the God hard drive. That's like the God chip, you know?
Yeah.
If I focus and tap into, and there's my electrical inlet. It's not an outlet, it's an inlet. I need to connect to that. But I kept thinking everything over there, when I get the job, when I go to high school, when I finished high school. So I did things like I went back to high school. I got my nursing degree. I got my art degree. I went to film school. I'm going to not be an actress. I'm going to be behind the camera where they use my brain, and I'm going to get my masseuse license. Maybe I should be a chiropractor. Like, I'm a trauma therapist. I'm an equine therapist. I'm like, what can I do to all this stuff? I was doing all this stuff in my 20s because I really believed when I get out and when I get everything complete, then I'll be okay. Because I was missing the biggest factor. I love it in the triangle, and it's in everything. You have the triangle, the pyramid, all these things all this symbols are really, if you kind of see beyond your mind's eye and go to your heart mind, the pyramid is body, mind, spirit.
Yes.
And then the eye of the pyramid, that eye that we talk about the evil, it's not really the evil, it's you inside. But if you don't take care of your body, your mind, and if you don't have your spirit, meaning tapping into a God source, whatever you want to call it. You can call it Allah, Allah, God, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius. I don't care what you call it.
Yes.
Just find something that created you, because it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Exactly.
You're not God. You got a little of that God in you. But because my ego lives in the world is so dripped with ego, we see it on Instagram and TikTok. Oh, it's like, everything is about, I need more, I need more, I need more. Yeah. And like you said, we are ingrained. So if I take a piece of wood and I keep going like this, and then someone says, you need to be happy. That's me going over here. It's going to take a minute for me to reroute. Yes, I can have a spiritual awakening experience. I could change timelines, jump parallel lives. I can time travel, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same shit. It's shifting your energy.
Yes.
But it's really hard. It's like me being a nurse and got my LVN, and someone saying, can you fix my carburetor? Ooh, dude. I can kind of, but I got to go to where? Who am I going to talk to? I'm going to get on the computer and I'm going to go to that source. Exactly. I call that God.
Yeah.
I need to go to that source to help me learn, change, shift, reprogram, regain, realign. Yeah. This means other than. Re is other than. Yes. So if I do that, bam, then I start having a new experience. I like getting high off the next. Why not shift it towards good? And, we have a lot of men that are so built on ego. And the ones that I find the most filled with joy and content and happiness are the ones that use their ego to create, but use their God to sustain. Bam. Wow. Those are the men that are like, you go, wow, what a good guy, man. I want to be around them. That's feel powerful. Protective. They feel safe. They feel like they would help me be the best woman that I can be. That's attractive. Not the one who's got the car and like I see dime a dozen. I work in the film industry. Ugh. Any fool can make a buck. You can't take that shit with you anyway. So I'm not that impressed.
Exactly.
But when you
Yeah.
go bye-bye and go back to the mainland, which is God's zone,
Yes.
I hope you're
Yes.
filled with him so you're not going to be scared when you recognize him.
Yeah.
You're going to remember birds of a feather flock together. If you're living on the outside, you're just going to stay here. You're going to keep coming back over and over, same shit over again. Or
learning or having the same lesson to learn over and over again.
Maybe. Yes. I don't know. It's possible. I'm open. It could. I might be wrong. Let me be wrong. I like being wrong. That means I get to learn more.
It would be great if we were wrong on that, but who knows?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm okay.
Exactly. I do want to let the listeners know, because Hilary, you touched on something that I always like to touch on, and it's the vernacular, right? It's as Hilary is talking about God, for her, it's God. Like, don't get caught up on the terminology.
Dude,
God, source, creator, universe, whatever it is for you, whatever your belief system is, just plug that in. For Hilary, you've shared, like, this is what you found, and you felt that light that came through when you hit the lowest of the low.
Thank God. I love hitting bottom. Yes, that means it's going up from here.
Yes, exactly.
And that God thing, because I don't, when I coach women, because I work with mostly women, I've worked with men too, but I don't want to be their guru. I don't want that much power. I want you to tap into a power source. I want to show you how to find God's, for like the lack of the better word. Like, it's not you. Instead of saying, find something that's not you, I'm going to call it God.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go there. And the ego goes, I don't want to call it God. I can't talk about God, because the ego's fighting for power. It's going to have, when you kill your ego, when your ego starts to die, it's going to fight like a mother. You know what? Because it doesn't want to die. It's been running the show.
Yes.
And look at, you're miserable. You have your money. You've got your job. You've got your, crypto. You got your Bitcoin. You're still not happy. What happened? Why don't you have any joy in your heart? So maybe you're missing that factor. Maybe you're missing that side of the pyramid. You got your mind. You went to college. You got the degrees. Okay. You got something behind your name. But who are you inside? Yeah. You got a lot of shit on the outside. But who are you inside? Are you okay with, can you look in the mirror and go, you're a good woman. I like you. Or you're a good man. I like you. Most people can't. And my heart goes, I was that girl. I was throwing up. I hated myself. I slipped my wrist. I was sleeping with men for money. I was giving it away. I was doing everything. Just defiled myself over and over and over. Not because I am a bad woman, because my belief of who I was aligned with what the world was going to judge me by. Yeah. Damn, was that a lie? Yes. Because the real me, I'm pretty pure. I tapped into, God made me perfect when I got here. I just messed. I always say I fucked it up. Oops. Yeah,
I was going to say, we come in perfect and we do a great job of just muddling it up.
I'm like, it was a Rembrandt. I made that shit a Pollock, man. Just splatter that shit. Oh, well. And then I've learned to say, oopsie.
Yes. Now what can we make out of it? Right? I mean, you talk about that. Now what the layer on the layer on the layer, what is the next thing that we can paint on top of that?
Yeah. How awesome is that?
I love that.
How awesome is that? I paint also, and I just redid a painting. My husband's like, that's incredible. And I said, I know I made a mess underneath it, but no one knows. Because I added life to it. And that's what healing starts to do. That's what changing from the inside out. You see that tree that looks so beautiful. Man, it started as a seed and it went deep down, means it went to where God sits, and then it grew up. That's how life happens. But I think it's the leaves and the apples and the branches came first. Turn my funnel around, turn my glasses around. I think it's all outside in. I thought my movie was, when I get that, then I'd be okay. But there's one thing. I studied Kabbalah, Judaism, Hindu, Sufism, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism. I've done it all because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I have an appetite.
Yeah.
I have an appetite for knowledge and truth. I have an appetite sometimes for success. I have an appetite sometimes for doing nothing. I still have an appetite that I allow to be. And so I remember I'd studied Kabbalah for like 4 years. And I was like, okay, I'm complete. And there was one thing they said is our movie starts from here and goes out here. So if you want to know how you're doing, if everything looks crispy, perfect on the outside, it's because you're trying to be perfect on the inside. But it's matching, but energetically, it's not connecting.
Yeah.
There's no life to that stuff because you're like, okay, I got it. Now what? Yes. Now what? So the movie starts from the inside. So being able to work with somebody and go deep down to your basement, I call it, and let's pull this. You ever gone to your basement or remember that room that you stuff everything in?
Yes.
You're like, we'll out to that later.
Under the stairs. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. The cabinet. One day you're just like, okay, I'm going in. And instead of going in by yourself because you overlook it, you don't want to deal with it, it's too scary, being able to be a witness, be somebody with you and just say, do you really need that? How's that serve you today? You see that belief? Who told you that shit? That's bullshit. Let's get rid of it. Let's put a new one in. Let's reinstall. Let's put a new hard drive in.
Yes.
Does it align with the original hard drive, which is on infinite, powerful love? That's all God is. It's just pure, unadulterated love. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to tap into that source. So if you're struggling with the spiritual side, Carl, if you have the triangle and you don't have the spiritual side, it ain't no triangle. It falls apart. That's what life happens. If you want to know how you're doing, check body, mind, spirit. Are they all being watered? Are they all being cultivated? That's where resilience, because then you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to throw myself away. I made a mistake. I'm not a mistake. Oopsie. God, that was a bad choice. Ha. And I've learned to laugh at myself. Oh my God. I will laugh at myself and go, I am such a moron. Oh my God. Any timer kicked in again.
You have to be able to do that. Yes.
Dude, I can laugh. I can laugh at the most perverse stuff and just go, that's the beauty about being alive. That's where the ease and flow comes in, where you're like, I'm just here for a short time. I'm not going to be here forever. I might as well have some fun while I'm at it and see the lightness of being while I'm here. Why not?
Exactly. Why not? And Hilary, you touched on, you dropped a massive nugget, and I want to make sure that the listeners, they caught it, because when you talk about the mistake, like you made a mistake, not that you are the mistake. And the same is true with anything, right? Like you make the decision. It's not that you are the decision or what have you, right? Like you've reached this season of life. It doesn't define who you are. And so being able to have that complete triangle where you can go back and reflect on, mind, body, spirit. If you don't have all three sides, it's not a triangle. You are just bouncing back and forth between two things, or you're spiraling in one, right? Like you talk about getting all of the accolades and the knowledge and the training and the development. And so you're just spiraling on one. You're just a top that's spinning. Yes, you're not even moving. You're between everything else.
Yeah.
Hilary, I think the other piece that's truly coming through with this is once you've started this journey of truly discovering who you are, then we get to this place of showing up with a level of authenticity. And I put authenticity in that same bucket that I put narcissism in, that we said, it's just kind of a buzzword. Authenticity is a buzzword as well. People want to be authentic until they realize you got to be authentic. And
you're not. Right.
So just for the sake of discussion, because I know it is a buzzword that people are familiar with, when we talk about like this authentic leadership, I think that there's such richness that comes when you're truly able to show up as the true version of yourself for the people that you're working with, alongside, and leading. And so,
Mm-hmm.
when and you talk about this, from the resiliency piece and from the healing standpoint. Let's take a look at it from the growth side, because you have had a beautiful journey
Mm-hmm.
since that moment at the age of 21. Talk to us about that growth and how that's really shown up for you over the last couple of years.
Wow, I remember my mother had it was 2020 no 2003. It was a couple minutes ago. It's really where I realized why I was here.
Mm,
You have that moment when you're like, what am I doing here? Because we keep thinking when I become somebody, I'll figure out who I'm supposed to be. And that's that outside over there, over there. It's like the bouncing ball, the little kid on the beach who's trying to get this huge beach ball, never going to be able to grab it. It keeps falling further and further and further. And that's how I felt my life was going to college, doing this, doing this. And then my mother passed away. Now, I had such a disdain for my mother. I hated her. And she was my energy drive. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to show her. We use our emotions to emote. That means movement, movement.
yes.
I was using this anger to emote me to get somewhere. I'm in the film industry. I'm making, I'm doing all these huge movies and, I can drop a couple Fast and Furiouses, like West Wing. I mean, I can go on and on. I have like 300. So what? They're just stuff I worked on. I'm not my job.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
okay, cool. Check.
Yes.
So I don't give my outside life more power than my inside life is.
Mm,
That's my living. This is my life right in here. I want my life to be good.
yeah.
I want to be able to take a breath. And I didn't know what was going on because I was using this energy. And so my mother had taken $500,000 from me as a kid, sent me to juvenile hall, lived in foster home, lived on the street, did the things that girls have to do to survive. And I hated this woman. She was my investment to go further. She was my nugget to push myself. But I was exhausted. Like I said, I was so tired. And I had been sober a while. And I went out. I drank again because I couldn't figure out what was, and it was great. I'm so grateful that I made a mistake because I found out I'm not the mistake. My choices need to shift because I need to do more work in here. So I said to my mentor at the time, who was a coach, and I said, I hate my mother. Oh, great. Let's look at why you hate your mom. I'm like, I don't need to. I already know I've got the long list. We all got the reasons why, right? Because I'm a victim still. I had that little victim chip. I'll tell you why. And he said to me, and he said, I want you to look at every characteristic she is, and I want you to mirror it and tell me where you are. And I started seeing I was no bitter. I was exactly like her. She was acting out her trauma the same way I was. Hurt people hurt people. She was giving me only things she had. And I was receiving it like the good little girl that needs to honor her mother and father. And I took on all her hurt, anger, and her disappointment. And I turned it on Hilary. And I didn't know this. And I wanted to hate her because that was my identity. I was married to my anger. That was who I was. And I had taken her ashes and I'd thrown them at the beach because I lived in Santa Monica and I lived down the street and I jokingly, you got to keep your enemies close. You know? And so I've got him at the beach and I'm write this long list of, God, what did she do? Who did I become as a result of what she did? So it's like when she broke my arm, she didn't take me to the doctor when I broke my arm when I was 13. When I broke her arm, listen to what I said. When I broke her arm, I was so rageful. I didn't take her to the doctor. So as horrible as she was, who am I? Why am I better? What makes me a better human being? What? Because I fought back worse than she did? She was dying from the inside out, and so was I. So I had to look at my behavior, and I went down to the beach and I sat with God, who I didn't understand. It's like, God, I don't even know who you are, but can you kind of witness that, okay, I did some shit too. And I started owning everything I was doing. All of a sudden, victim ledger across my face was being ripped off. I was like, wow, I'm becoming an adult. I'm like owning my stuff. I'm like accountable. Oh, this is crazy. I start seeing that my mom didn't want to leave me on the freeway and not feed us and throw me out and send me to a foster home. If she wasn't mentally ill or fractured herself, she would have never done that. So guess what I started gaining? Empathy. Ah, who is the narcissist?
Yeah.
But I'm protecting myself. I don't want to feel bad for her because I got to be okay in here. Even though here you can't penetrate because I have so much bullshit crowded me. And so I'm sitting on the ocean and Santa Monica, and you have to go underneath Pacific Coast Highway to get to, you know where that is. You have to get to go under PCH because it's like, otherwise you might as well go on the speed rail and get run over. But so I go underneath and I have this long conversation for like an hour and a half and I read everything and I start amending. I start saying, I'm sorry. I apologize for my part. Remember, she's the bad guy. But now I start seeing, wow, I'm no better. Like I must have hurt her too. Like I was hurting. So I hurt her and she hurt me. It was so dysfunctional. And then I started get this lightness in my chest. I was like enlightened. I started saying, wow, I did these things not because I'm a piece of crap. It's because I was functioning the only way I knew how.
Yeah.
And maybe I can learn something new. So I started feeling lighter. When I was complete, I got up and I started to walk back. Now, I was there about 2.5 hours, I would say, just so I could, and I cried and I said I was sorry. And I all of a sudden I forgave my mom. Like I know my mom didn't really want to hurt me. She was just very sick. And I had some poor thing. She must have she died homeless downtown LA, drunk. She must have been hurting, man. All of a sudden I felt for this woman. I was so invested in hating her. I had a new experience, a new feeling. And I got up and I turned around and I looked on the wall that went under the tunnel that goes underneath Pacific Coast Highway. And in the time that I was sitting there, remember, I do continuity on movies. I've done over 300 movies. I pick up things. I see things. I have a photographic memory. Great thing to do. Not really, because then you wish you wouldn't remember stuff.
But you can't ever unsee it. That's correct.
No.
Yes.
So I see it and the wall was blank. And when I went back underneath to walk underneath, someone had spray painted in gold paint, a spray paint. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. And I thought, wow, like, how does that happen? And that moment, I changed my perception of my life. And I thought, thank God my mom did what she did. She built one badass MF girl. Yeah. She showed me how to take care of myself when it seemed like the world was falling apart. Exactly. She used to say to me, get up. I'd fall off my horse. She'd say, oh, shut up and get back on it. I hated her for that. Thank you, Mom, for showing me that, you know what? You get knocked down, you get up again. You're never going to get me down. Bingo. Bingo. So I failed in the business. Start another one. So I didn't get that job. Who cares? Something better's around the corner. I started to get my happiness in the moment. Yeah. Instead of waiting till I got over there. Exactly. I would say things like, why not? Oopsie. All of a sudden I'm happy. All of a sudden I have joy. All of a sudden I have hope. All of a sudden I can do anything. So when I would go to work, I'm retired from the film industry now. Now all I do is coach and I do podcasts and I do keynote speaking. I love it. It's great. I get to give and give and give. Yes. God takes care of me, the universe, the light, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. How many shoes can you wear? How much food can you eat? Like, I'm okay. Yeah. I am enough. I have enough. I feel enough. I have been fulfilled because my source is from here, not out there. So, what had happened is I started realizing, I'm telling myself a new lie.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? The lie is
Mm-hmm.
I'm not enough. Now I'm going to tell myself, I got everything. God's my source. I'm good. And from that moment on, my income tripled, quadrupled after that, because I felt, why not me? And the more I have, the more I can share. It's got to
Mm-hmm.
be that flow. It's like the feng shui. It's got to flow, baby. If you're going to hoard everything, bye-bye. It's got to be God and everything underneath that. Like,
Yeah.
I am not the one who brought me here, but I can tap in to stay here and be happy and filled with joy. So I choose to do that in the day I'm in. So I'm
I
happy in the
love
moment
that.
I'm in.
I love that, Hilary. I think that's such a key piece is finding happiness in the moment that you're in versus waiting for the achievement of the finish line that you're trying to pass, the goal that you're trying to achieve, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like, right? It's fill it in. It's if it's significant other, career, financial goal that you've hit for yourself, fitness goal that you've hit for yourself. Find happiness in the now, in
Yeah.
this moment.
That's gold right there. Bingo.
Yeah.
There's your
I love it.
Bitcoin right there, baby. That's your boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Hilary, this has been amazing. Each episode with a guest, I wrap up with one final question for the guest. And I want to leave you with the same question so that you can share with our listeners. How would you like to be remembered as a leader? 5, 10, 100 years from now? How do you want to be remembered as a leader?
I love how Connie, I can't remember her last name. I just had an anytimer moment. Oopsie. I want to be remembered from where I come from, not where I've gone. And I want to be remembered that I have 2 sayings that work for me that seem to work is you're never going to get it right, meaning there's no such thing as perfection, and you're never going to get it done, meaning over there doesn't exist. Because when you get it done, you're dead. And I'm not dead yet. So I just, it's learning how to live lightly in this heavy world and knowing that, it's not what you get that's really important. It's what you share back. That's rich.
I love that. Hilary, I feel that coming from you, and I am so grateful that you've been able to share that, not just with myself, but also with our listeners. This has been amazing. Amazing.
You're so cute. Amazing.
And for the record, anyone that knows me or that has seen me or they interact with me, that's typically my response when someone asks. We bring it full circle. When you were asked when you were younger, how are you? Everything's fine, 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 fine.
Right.
And I was in that season of life where I said, everything's fine. It's going to be fine. And if it's not fine, it's fine. It'll be fine. I now, when you ask me that question, I'm amazing. And I truly am because I work and strive with intention to have happiness in the moment and truly live a life that is filled with joy. So what you've shared with us today absolutely resonates with me. So I want to thank you for sharing that with me and sharing it with the listeners.
Awesome. Thank you for inviting me. I feel blessed. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. For our listeners, you all know the deal. Make sure that you are downloading and subscribing on your favorite streaming platform. If you are not subscribed to our weekly Think Letter, where we dive a little bit deeper into our conversation, make sure that you do so. You can find that on LinkedIn under the Flamingo Files newsletter that is dropped every Monday. And this episode or this podcast, every episode drops on Wednesday. So make sure that you come back next Wednesday and join us. Until next time, I will see y'all soon. Thank you for spending time growing with me on the Leadership That Shines podcast. Every episode is built around the values of impact, influence, and growth. And I want all 3 of those to show up in how you lead starting this week. If this episode added value to your week, share it with a leader in your world who is ready to grow. Subscribe and follow so that you never miss a week. And I'll see you in the next episode.